succeed. You need every point possible. Again, this is one of the best duos in Europe who has yet to qualify. They're one of the ones on the list trying to do everything they can. Kyoto goes down, Star Peak goes down, Schmecky fires an RPG towards the high ground, which knocks Provoke and Majin. Osmo bonks his head, but catches himself now in the zone and will get enough time.
At the moment to see what he can pick up.
Yes, Provoked going down as well as Aimsons and Take, and we have our top 10. So 5 placement points for everyone. Good 180 out of Osmo. Finds Zol and gets some of the builds, but not enough. He's looking to see what else he can find. Sees the ballers on the low ground, but he's looking to go aggro because he doesn't have a lot of builds. 2 left, 1 left, none left now. Needs to find whatever he can. Looking for the shot, gets blasted, but he sends one right back. 115 to the face. Flutterboys, did you hear that? That's Osmo coming for your spot, doing everything he can. 8 players left, 6 duos remaining, and there it is. Spoiler goes down, so we have our top 5. It's all about the Elan's the victory out, and brilliant from Osmo, ducking back out into the storm. Gets Tamir, gets the minimum amount of builds, gets all 13 of them, but still playing the low ground. 6 duos left. 5 duos remaining, 6 players. There's 1 full duo left, and Osmo's looking for a great edit down. 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out, Harmy, and that was the other duo. We'll have a solo match if he can clean it up. Conversion comes through. 95 HP now, Shy.
In the zone now, it's the last circle, 9th one closing in. 40 seconds, Osmo finally goes down to Majin. Majin moving up, Jurg on the high ground, Pepper down below. It's a solo game at the moment, 1v1v1v1. Jurg making sure his lair is secure. Pepper up on the mid-ground lair. Majin getting pressure now. Pepper on low HP. Majin taking storm damage to get his heals up on a trap. It's his though. He moves in. Pepper going down. Risk versus Majin on the low ground. Jurg looking for pressure from height. Gets those combat shots on Majin, who gets dropped into the zone, but gets a quick pickup from Risk. Taking that risk, getting the reward. Jurg now on a lot of HP and shield, not taking tick step. Imagine with the surprise factor low on Mats, can he get it done? 3 left for him. Or Elims, he tries for the 50-50, but Jurg comes in. S2V wins at the end of the day. Very dope stuff there.
Well done there from Harambe and Jorge Q, closing out there and matching the score of Majin and Provoked, putting both those duos at 34 points after the match. Again, we saw the leaderboard. It was 41 to 37. These are all duos who are up towards the top, but the action doesn't stop. Hopping into the 3rd game here. We are also into the final hour in Europe, so we're getting down to those last games. You can see it closing in on it. I apologize, a little premature there, but 103 left. People getting towards the back half and the back thirds of their games. 49 players left, 28 duos.
Yeah, these games are stacked. Looks like every single game so far has had that storm surge active, and these placement points are coming in around the 7th, 8th circle. So you have to be able to survive, have to keep your duo alive, have to manage your mats and your heals all the way through. Impact Fixie going up a few layers, looking for any more vantage points, any more sight lines he can block off. A launch pad coming in as people start to rotate to that 5th zone a little bit early, but the zone just started moving. Ballers all around, a lot of open pyramid edits as well, as Fixie takes a few shots but has those shields available, going up for another big shot up or another build up. Alliance Powder goes down. So as we said, these early rotations, then the cutoffs, they're huge in terms of picking up free elims on people moving.
And somebody just tried to force that box as well with that flint knock. Fixie being not about it. Powder is getting enough space to be revived there. You can see that in the top right corner of your screen as the rotation comes out. Not a single player dropped on that rotation so far. We are still at 49 left, and this is kind of the proliferation of those heals. You see more people carrying heals, carrying shields. It allows you to take chip. If you get chipped on a rotation, no longer out. Good wall replace there from Shaw, and Nira getting into Noisy's box. Can they get the wall again as he gets to take it back? Does get it. Can they get the stairs in? And they do. Noisy and Arctic Dangerous going down. Well done from the EVD duo.
Even with all this mobility, these guys now know the meta. It's week 10. Everyone's already caught up. You have to be able to go for these elims when you have the tools, when you have the pressure and that ping advantage as well. Shaw on full HP, Nirwa at full HP as well. Both sitting on a few elims for each other on pops. 25 people left alive. That Storm Surge is going to start ticking as well, as we haven't gone down to that 30 30 threshold just yet. A lot of action on low ground. Baller still available to a lot of people as well.
And the one thing you do talk about that ping advantage, it certainly does not hurt to have the better internet going in there. But shout out to SEE and the Vietnamese team being the first one coming through there and putting on a show last night. And I think it's actually something that's a little bit more mitigated when it comes to duos because of the strategies that end up going through, where you'll have one person forcing the wall, the other person trying to replace, or the other person isn't actually trying to get the wall right there, but they're trying to get the stair in first so then they can get the wall there. And you get to start playing games like the double combats, looking for the player in the sky there with the shadow bomb. As you see, their Storm Surge is active. We'll need to go to 30 players, and they got the knock onto Haibuzin courtesy of the storm right before taking to the sky.
Looks like these guys are at the very highest point of this rift as well. They get to make the final decision onto where to land. No pressure from them at all as you look over. Not that much going on in mid-ground to protect height as it's getting shot out by Rapti. No elims coming out just yet. Everyone playing very, very safe and tunneling very well at the moment. Crew just gets powdered down once again. Scribbly Doggy now looking for any other shots down below his mid-ground tarp layer. That's an option a lot of mid-ground bases have. They can look down anywhere in their box, just protect the top and look for any squeeze eliminations on the bottom side of the map.
And we're going back on this rotation so you can see how Scribby and his teammate just immediately turn backwards and start editing through their tunnel. Now they can just slowly edit backwards and fire shots. Stink goes out, they spray shots towards it, but it is actually the Noof who gets that knock. Killigore does go down as well. Lanoof and Clinton had previously qualified, but are doing their best in here. You see Violin in the top left as we get closer and closer to the placement threshold. Kazuna and Scribby, good job cycling out right now. Lanoof does end up going down, as well as a Supremacy Attack, who was in that top 10. However, they need to be cautious of their mats starting to get a little lower and a lot of tunnels going on around here.
Yes, and it's actually amazing what these guys are doing right now. They're waiting and tunneling as much as possible, not peeking too hard, then waiting for utility to get used. Any rifts, you go for those big shots in the air. Nesty going down now from a lower tarp layer. Once again, they're waiting for people to stop and make mistakes and capitalizing on everything as they did on the Stinks before as well.
That was a huge swing, puts them up to 7 eliminations and into the top 15. That was a 5-point bonus right there for this duo and into 30 points, up into the conversation. You can see Shaw then gets the knock onto Waste as everyone gets sent down on ultimate high as Nura is trying to work upwards and get some form of connection. He has the next lowest tarp, and he's just going to drop down and say, whatever. Here's all those heals and the utility we talk about as we close in on the next placement threshold. 11 duos left, 14 players, so a lot of solo riders, 8 of them hanging out, while only the 3 full duos.
No challenges coming on from height either, which allows Shaw to get these easy pressure picks with this gold scar. These guys making sure their rotations are perfect. Lol Boom now going down. When you have this time, when you have the Pro-Am weekend to prepare your loadout, your loot path, you get these big loadouts that are gold, all the heals you need. Another knock coming in from Nirwa. They're just tearing on this high ground at the moment.
They're doing brilliant, making sure they're getting good angles, but some shots going up finally going to force them. And that's one thing we've talked about. Uncontested high ground is great until somebody from the low ground decides to take notice of you. You are the only one raining down the shots. However, cover yourself up and just reset. You'll get that advantage back. As you can see, Nura and Shaw doing a brilliant job of this, but look at the chaos on the low ground. Right now, you have Nura in your top right, Scrib Doggy in your bottom right. The rest of the action on the left side as Nali gets taken down by Kazuna, and we have our top 5, so it's all about the elims and the victory route as Violinin finds Fixie right after he gets Papsy. 3 duos left. Drop down ends up coming through. Scrib Doggy will he find it, but instead Nurok comes in late to the party, cleans up 1, cleans up 2, and that is it. Shaw and Nurok take home the victory royale. 10 eliminations, 44 points, putting them in contention again. We're into the final hour of Europe. We're right there. These are the matches that decide those last spots. 4 are up for grabs, Shy. That's it. 4 left.
It's all around the world, man. Low, mid, and height, everything getting contested. Juice to milk for eliminations on every single layer. And Shaw and Nirwa just played it perfectly there. We see the chaos of all these builds, all these layer switches, people just trying to survive. It is the last week as well. Everyone's just trying out their honed strategies over these 9 weeks of preparation they've had, solos and duos. A lot of people splitting up, playing with new duos as well. We've seen that a lot in NA East, as well in EU. As we get into this next game, Issa and Camo on the low ground.
Yep, and you can see that controller duo trying to represent and do everything they can. Issa having already qualified for the solos camo, trying to find his way to New York City. Can they make it? And this is actually one of the thinnest end games we've seen so far, with 39 players left, still 22 duos, so a little more action going on the mid game. As you can see, representative Issa and Camo's 8 elims right now. Super impressive, and there you go. Finally now into that last hour. Third time was the charm, 56 minutes remaining. And again, if you are just joining us and it's one of your first weekends watching, it is 3 hours or 10 matches. The semifinals were played yesterday, and the qualifying spots are in the top right. We have already seen the BES duo advance out of Oceania and the Trigger QQ duo from Vietnam take home the spot out of Asia. Which 4 will join them in Europe? And who do you got your eyes on, Shai?
For me, at the moment, I think that Shaw is just playing amazingly right now. I also think that there's going to be a lot of chances for Camo and Issa to pop off as well. They've been up and down in the leaderboards at the moment, but as we can see over here, these high elim games, if you get 1 or 2 pop-offs, you're right back into the running. There is only an hour left, but everyone's already experienced in playing their 10 games, knowing that, hey, if we're behind 2 or 3 games, we can play a little bit aggro here and then catch up with those big placement types of games later on. So hopefully these guys and their game plans work out. We'll see what's up right now. A little bit of a sneaky game coming in, a 4-gun loadout, which we don't see too much from Issa, with combats, ARs, drum guns, a very AR-heavy medium ammo loadout. Low people as well on mid at the moment. A lot of calmness. When there's not too many people in the server, you have these stalemate moments where a lot of people get to have a lot of information. Now, this is good for 2 reasons. One, the people who are boxing up know a lot of things about one another. But the bad part about it is that if everyone has information on everyone, there's so many more sightlines that get abused and used for eliminations left and right around the whole map.
Yeah, it's much harder to manufacture eliminations in this circumstance because everyone is used to playing. And it's kind of nuts that we've gotten to the point in Fortnite where 39 people in a 5th circle is like, oh yeah, you know, that's not that dense. You know, it's fine. You got some room to move around and work with. But like, normally the reason people say play for late is because when you get so chaotic, if you are deliberate and you're able to get your rotation down, you will get opportunities to pick off other players. And you can see there just how aggressive these guys have been. 1,102 damage above the Storm Surge threshold. Again, that will turn off once we get down to below 30 players. As you see the launch pad come out, no bonks there. Thought about challenging for height instead. Gonna go far side of the zone and box up and turn.
Camo now missing his partner, actually. They finally get together once again. He's going to be boxing up, waiting for any elims to happen. These guys have 8 elims together in total. Heavy Snipe coming into onto the box as well in front of him. No follow-up, though, as it's not possible. These guys are on split layers, although that's very good for sightlines and different vantage points. Sometimes the synchronization can get desynchronized when you're not together with your duo partner.
Stay with your buddy. Particularly, it's week 10. Come on. Like, how many times, like, unless your name is Mongrel, like, trying to just 1v2 the rest of the lobby generally hasn't worked out for a lot of players. And right now, Issa and Camo recognizing that, getting back together, still on 8 elims, and now they're going to try and kind of level out the loadout. Interesting to see in favor of still running the double AR, but I'm Trash living up to his name there as Issa just blasts him with the combat shotgun. Can't poke there, can't challenge against one of the best players out of Europe. Gets the conversion over, and we're closing in on that top 15.
Very, very smooth build over there to get right back up to his partner. But no, these guys are split now. Issa going on for a 1v1. Camo getting a nice low tier or low ground lockdown on his enemy. Max going down on 60 hertz. You got to up those hertz, but you guys see these people coming. Camo moving around. Issa popping off on his lair as well. These guys are owning the whole server, making sure everything's getting shredded down on numbers. Ash going down as well. The finish is coming out. These guys have collectively done so much damage. Drop-offs. It's chaos. Mods going down. What's happening over here, Sunday?
15 elims now. He just ran up to 15 elims, and notice how he's constantly checking his side. Can make it 16. Zaito goes down as well. Who says you need a teammate? He says, Mongrel who? My name is Ghost Issa, and I'm here to make a play. Camo's in a box. What's in a box? It's the Ghost duo. They want to make it to New York City. They want to go together. One isn't enough as we're closing in on the top 10. 38 points so far. 17 elims. They're already on 22 points just from this match, but they will not stop yet. There's still chaos going on. Pushes forward. Jexy goes down. Trap gets armed right next to him, and they're into the top 10. Issa picks up another one on the high ground. They're on 19 now. He needs to circle back around and find the zone, and he finally does. Narshni goes down. Delay goes down. Top Boy goes down. Closing in on top 5, and he finds it. Jinsen goes down as well. 6 left. Will Easton.
Are their health bars working? They haven't taken any damage that's significant at all. Still both alive on separate. They're playing solos. Guys, you queued up for the wrong mode. What's going on? It's 9 circle, 8 people alive, both on separate layers. Still 3 stinks available for pressure, doing their own thing. Back-to-back intensive goes down. The workout's too much for him. Another sting going on height to help out his buddy Issa on low HP. Camo, finally these guys are getting put in check. Issa taking stinks. 1 HP. He goes down. Can Camo clutch up? A mini coming up. The enemy pops in with a heavy sniper. Mark bringing down their big rain, but so many eliminations as we move on to the last 1v1. Alphen up with Mark going and bullying the last solo player left alive. Issa's big rain going down. Camo also going down as well. Alphen with a big combat shotgun pop shot. Intensive 8x finally going down as well. They secure the elim points. They secured the victory royale as well, but Camo and Issa, holy moly.
That was huge right there, but not to be understated. Alphen and Duo picking up 18 points right there, 8 elims and the victory royale. Zeke, that was nuts.
Sundown, that was absolutely insane. I mean, first of all, it's so awesome to hear Shai's voice and hear how incredible he is at casting. Let's just...
A great first cast. That was
great
beautiful.
First cast, especially in that game with Issa and Camo. Controller lords, you got to think with another pop-out performance like that.
Yes.
They could be potentially contesting for a spot.
They could be the only full controller duo to qualify for a World Cup. It is the last chance for any of that to happen. So with games like that, Zeke, this is just the start of the day, by the way. This is the first block of games. We have way more Fortnite, but for now, let's hang out with Bala. I know you've pulled some clips for us to take a look at. Let's see what you got. Yeah, I can explain. I can explain some clips here of what happened into those games. Tickle. I mean, he's by himself. He's trying to clutch up, and everything was going wrong there. He ended up being placed underneath the stairs. His heavy snipe didn't get the wall. The turbo build came in, and then even here, getting the stairs placed, this duo was going to come out on top of him, but he's able to stay composed, get the elimination, and then another situation that was unexpected. Somebody lands right behind him, and he still managed to get away, even with low HP. And when we looked at the leaderboards at the front, we saw all of these teams that were in this game here, Orc and Andalex on high ground. They use the chug splashes to recoup a little bit before Telek unfortunately gets a little antsy, jumps out, and that's going to be the end because both Andalex and Orc are looking down on top of him. Here, Osmo goes on a tear with his teammate Milan. And I mean, some of the things that they did here, this was really interesting to me because you used to run out in the storm and just take the damage from the storm to get the loot. But in this case, he's using the chug splash to recover instantly. And then what a catch there from Osmo. We're going to look at another team here, Provoked and Imagine, who are so close to qualifying week after week, especially last week 8. Provoked actually goes down on a waterfall there as somebody makes its way there. But this shot was disgusting. He didn't even actually get that elimination. He did a 112 to him to the face, but actually Jorge, who was up on high ground towards the end, managed to nag that from him. But then Osmo taking on both Carnifex and Harmy by himself. Back on Imagine though is Osmo finally, because he doesn't have his shotgun reloaded, ends up going down. Imagine with the good attempt after we saw Provoked end up going down from fall damage, takes out Risk while in the storm, and then makes another storm play to kind of try to catch him by surprise, but it's not going to be enough. But it was so close, Zeke. This shot right here, and then look at this. He was so close. He already had his crosshair on his face, but no. Jorge is going to take the win just barely by milliseconds here, Zeke. This was so close.
Man, coming down there to the wire, man. This is just what Fortnite is, right? Like, everyone's going to give it their all. Everyone wants to qualify, and that's the kind of stuff we're seeing. Let's take a look at the leaderboard to see how things are shaking out currently. I can't even read.
Den Magisk, I don't know.
Den Magisk?
Magisk. I'm going to call him Magisk.
Magisk, great. And TTV, I'm the Beast. We know you. You've been hanging out here for a while. At the top still, though, 7 games remaining.
Yeah.
This is pretty substantial. 3 victory royales right now, 100% win rate.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That is ridiculous. I mean, 62 points. This might be flipped here. Games remaining versus matches played. Possibly Benji, Fishy, and Mr. Savage. We've seen them week after week, and people are starting to, use that Fishy tag at the end of their name to get the good luck. But I mean, Wolfies and Rojo were up here earlier. They've got 57 points now. They dropped down from 1st to 4th. Skite and Vato, who are just barely, I think they got 9th place twice in a row in the duos week. So that's one of the French-speaking duos that have not yet made it. We saw the Solary guys go through before, and then some of these other guys as well. Andalex and Orc, we saw their win. And Dreda, who had the crazy performance in week 9. You guys watched it. Just unbelievable. So it's shaping up. I mean, I'm already seeing Skite and Vato. I'm starting to get excited because they start to play better as time goes on. And we just have all but time right now. It's running down, though.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready to get back into these games. Bala, if you are as well, I think we're going to send it back over to Sundown and Shy. Gentlemen, back over to you and keep the action rolling.
Thank you so much, Zeke and Bala. Oh, good, Shy, no worries. But I'm so excited. Like you said, we saw so many of those guys up on that top board. It's so incredibly dense. 52 players in this lobby, 28 duos remaining. And again, the 4 final spots. We're coming down to it right now. That line, because the Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy duo have already qualified, would be 54 points. 51 was on the bottom. 3 points separating everyone. That's how tall you have to be to ride the ride. And Storm Surge is on again, Shy.
The pressure's active in EU, and we are in pressure plant as well. The lava's hot. These skins look hotter. The guns look very nice as well with that new camo that's out in the shop as well. A lot of edits going up and around. Once again, Geyser's up in play. A lot of free rotation, free shots being taken too, but a miss coming in from Speezy, very, very close to the opponent's head. Baller's getting shot down on Storm line. Once again, a very good position. A lot of people playing for pre-positioned advantage points and then milking those elims rather than getting them on the fly. The guys are being baited now. Can the beams come through? White HP on that opponent. His fly gets cut short. Jarkos going down now. Where's his duo partner? We don't know. His finish is going to be coming out now as these sweaty soccer skins, Alex and Speezy, are just going to be tearing up this low ground, making sure no one's allowed to be this tall for this EU ride on the northeast side of the map.
And you see them actually able to get into the mid ground. Alex was the player from the Winter Royale who hadn't played competitive before. It was just always in the arena duos and said, hey, I'm pretty good at Fortnite, and through the open structure has now been in all of these end games. But Speezy now going to opt to tarp away. We'll see the conversion happen onto Alec, and now has to make some tough decision in terms of loot. Is going to drop the heavy snipe in favor of taking the rift. Will he opt to fix anything else up? And you can see now he's trying to go back through and just make sure he gets every possible little bit he can.
In these solo spots, when you have to face up against other duos, those spam weapons are always vital. That choice of keeping the drum gun and the AR even on low ammo, Speezy knows at some point is going to be a desperate motion on the low ground or mid ground in terms of making sure that spam is up on opponents' builds. So very smart decision there as we tune into the Fnatic boys. Motor and Vrox going to be looking at their own loot at the bottom here. Have a rift to go as well. Shadows available to get caught up after grabbing the rift, but Motor misses out on those. Not sure if that'll affect him later on. Once again, there are a lot of geysers and a lot of ways to trickle down from height to stay on top of rotation, but that might be a big hit to their loadout and overall play this game.
Yeah, I really hope Vrox grabbed those because honestly, Shadows are the most consistent in terms of the utility tool being able to rotate. You have either top down or down up. You're able to rotate and get high ground if necessary and just make really clutch plays in a pinch. As you see, a lot of other people rotating the good old-fashioned way. It's Fortnite, the battle is building, and everyone is tarping up the side of pressure plate and trying to do damage because that Storm Surge is still active. You can see Motor and Vrox about 9 points right now to be in the top 10, 12 points off qualification pace. What can they do to get themselves closer? There they are. They're the Shadows we saw earlier. Will he be able to grab them? Is that another misgrab coming out from Motor? And we talked about the clutch and the pressure being on. Now actually misses himself in one of the chug splashes too, but doesn't matter. Call him an action hero as he slides down the side of the volcano and finds the elim.
Very smart loop balance from those duos as well. Vrox goes down, but he did have a slurp ticking while he let Motor play with those chug splashes. You know, it's easy to have a very efficient chuck splash in duos, but on rotation, it's very hard to hit you and your partner. So very smart decisions there. Motor has to be smarter now in a 1v2 situation, using all his mats, around 800 left now as people go down left and right. 26 people left alive, 18 duos, no placement yet. Once again, 7th zone, and a lot of pressure coming down on Motor. His shield getting knocked down, still has those chuck splashes to use on the move, making sure that zone damage is not a problem. Shields, not a problem, as he gets all the way back up to 100 HP. Once again, his early game was amazing. Get those guns out, but his life goes down as well to Bodike.
And he misses the top 15, so no placement points there. Vato and Sky are going to be happy about that, as Vato is still in the lobby. You have Ibu High now with the combat and the flint still rolling around in the ball, and Proxima Star, who was in the top 3, also picking it up there. And Proxima Star being the player who's been around forever, since like the original Summer Skirmish. So good to see his name back up there as Flavo picks up Wraith's Guard, and we're closing in on the top 10. Buhai trying to find a decent amount of space there in the middle, but somebody is way up on Ultimate High as we're rotating around. Zeke gets blasted by Flavo in the back. Will the Elim come through? No, he's able to find the zone, but not able to pop it off, as now all of a sudden Old Man Mountain. 1-2 players up top. This is when you wish you had Shadow Bombs. Matsu and Ibu High on the mid ground. Ibu High gets that, but Proxima Star and his teammate just get to rain down shots on the rest of the lobby. Ibu High trying to find some space to exist, but he's going to have to go back over now into the plant. There's only Ibu High in a 1v2, and that's not going to be enough. Fury Legend and Proxima Star going to close that one out. 6 elims and the victory round. That's how they were at 57 points. That's what got them up there, and hopefully they can keep on that pace to qualify.
They ended that game so fast, still had 9 impulses and 2 smoke grenades left at the end, but they decided to just give the lobby a whole haircut as we move in. Once again, the same zone. Geysers going up once again. A lot of launch pads can be saved on this 5th zone rotation. A lot of mats can just be saved as well when you're up in the air, not taking too many shots and basing up, going for these big vantage points as well. Benji Fishy now, the inspiration for a lot of duos in the EU region, getting their name switched for that good, sweet luck in terms of qualifying. He's getting checked on his edit, getting a little bit too close there, giving his fish hat a little bit of a haircut. A lot of heals being used on that as well. Could be a mistake that proves fatal at the end of the game.
And one thing I do like, though, is with how many more shields there have been in the games, is players are taking more risks. They're poking out more. They're looking for more trades. They're willing to go take fights, because it's like, hey, if we don't get everything here, it's not the end of the game. As Rickolas finds a great double snipe onto him, that's what we talk about, always making sure you cover 2 layers. So what are they going to do? They're going to disengage down and over 1 layer and make sure they're boxed up. They are already very close to the safe zone, not quite in it, so we'll need to rotate just slightly over, but have the guys there to do it. I mean, this lobby's stacked. You see Crew, Nairo, Milan, Osmo, Chapik, Snowda, like, jeez.
We get in these last 4 games, and the games only get bigger with better players over and over. Aqua in here with Nyrox as well. We're going to be tuning into their super dope position up top on this hill. Going to be cutting off a lot of people rotating from mid-ground. They're going to just have to rotate early, though. They're not in zone just yet, dropping just a few layers, but every layer you do drop, that's a box saved on mats. So moving diagonally this way is very smart, but also risky, because you have a little bit less of protection from front. You just saw there Nyrox trying to get double sniped off of his position, but is dynamic in his box, saves that up. Utility now getting split from each duo, making sure each person has a nice exit plan in case that fire alarm sounds in their game and stuff hits the fan. Nyrox going to be looking out, up and around for any vantage points. 5th circle to 6th is that kind of stalemate time where you can look for picks. He gets a nice 33 damage shot on a duo moving down bottom. Aqua looking through his pyramid, looking for any information up on the map as well.
Yeah, and they're just trying to chill. They're just trying to hang out right now, doing everything they can to keep whatever amount of space and to get over on the far side of the zone right away. And that's one thing we've talked about a number of times. When these moving zones come in and you have utility, you want to pop it, get far side, box up, and then turn and see the rest of the lobby. Here's a prime example of it. That's white damage. Going to follow it up right away with the stink grenade. You don't get away from that. He's going to continue pouring down the pressure, and that is Blood X of E11 going down on the side. Brilliantly done, but can they convert onto it? The Storm will move past it, so they want to go over and try and get whatever mats as well as that siphon on it.
Once again, EU is so good at just using their utility and following up with the shots. Nyrox now going down, unfortunately, could not cover his head up top. Very still smart plays there, playing off of his thing, saving that last one until he had damage rather than just using it for an impact in the game. Always make sure you're milking the most out of the stuff you have in your inventory. Benji now still alive with Savage, looking for a reload while the wall goes down. Very unfortunate there. That small mag size of the infantry rifle proving to be fatal in terms of getting that elimination point. Benji and Savage now in the same box, getting caught up in a big community rift. Chapik's going down, getting knocked all the way. Not sure in the rift or beforehand. That Elam coming through though, that shield will go back up once that server starts moving and the storm goes over that down enemy.
So he actually got knocked because that was the shot that he hit right before on him. That was the 87 tick. The storm ended up then ticking him over and then getting it. That was that extension where it's a minute after you've damaged someone. But we have our top 15, so 3 placement points going out to everyone. The Fishies getting those as well, so on 5 points so far from this match. And also still 2 Shadow Bombs with a lot of mats, so they're going to be able to play for late as Andretta gets picked up. So did get the top 3 points going there from top 15, but not anything more there. Majin and Provoked on the mid tarp. You see I'm the Beast and Magisk Pulse on the high ground above him. Takeoffs just below. Zappy and Red Rush, another duo who have already qualified, just below. Anonymous 27, not to be confused with Anonymous 72, just below Dementos here as he's tarping towards the side, trying to make it into the top 10.
A lot of mid-ground tarps coming out now. The zone will start moving in more awkward ways. A little bit of time for Dementos at the moment to see if he can put pressure down up top or down below. Putting vertical pressure upwards as a mid-ground tarper is very, very hard. His duo is down, but does have 6 eliminations. Pay over there. These guys have 8 in total. Looks like it's going to be 9 now, unless, no, it was just a finish on Dementos. He's going to be going over on his tarp once again.
But it got him into the top 10, so it's fine that
diagonally he is right now, I mean, you got to think this is the top 1%, right? Don't forget the top 3,000 or 1,500 duos from the region move on to finals. Maybe you'll catch some people off guard, but for the large part, you're not going to catch many like incredible players off guard with that kind of tactic, right? Like they're going to be looking, they're waiting. Like someone's going to do something cheeky here. I just feel it. 44-88. Oh my God. Okay, listen, ref's guard. Well, all right, I was going to say pull off another shot. He just beat me to the punch. It's like, Zeke, I got you. Don't worry.
That infantry rifle being used right through the window. So strong at putting out those high damage numbers right away, taking down that duo. And actually going to manage to snag the loot as well. Meanwhile, on the rest of the server, I did see Boyer and Crippa. I saw Dementos in the lobby. So Boyer and Crippa, one of those teams that a lot of people were looking forward to, qualify for New York, but not have yet having those performances in this lobby. We'll see what they're able to do. Obviously, Haxguard and Ref's guard are Haxcore, sorry, are way on their way towards that top of the leaderboard, but the RPG coming in.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, I think Crippa was actually picked up, and I think Boyer's by himself. Once we can take a look at the high and wide shots here and establish things, we'll get a better sense. But right now, rotations need to begin happening. Shadow bombs are being popped, and look at this. They try and reposition here with Ref's guard. That's good. Team is back together, and the chug splashes. Thank you, teammate. And it comes out. Didn't catch it. The player drops down to 76 over on. There you go. Sigma has been eliminated, going back to the lobby.
And that is exactly how you want to place the traps. When you drop somebody into the box, make sure you place it on that front wall or the roof, and then you can rotate the stairs accordingly. But they have no chance of escaping from the left or the right when you place it in that fashion. Great reaction there from Haxcore and Ref's guard, and we're going to stay on them.
First round of placement points coming out. Right now, they have 3 eliminations, which in and of itself is huge. There you see Boyer goes down, has been eliminated, even Alliance Powder as well. And this lobby is just going to continue to thin out. Edgerkill going to be picked off as well by Pappy, and this just continues. Benji Fishy is also in the lobby as well. He's going to pick up Mav Joe. And right now, I mean, if you're Ref's guard and you're Haxcore, you're probably thinking, like, I'm watching the elimination feed. I know these Titans are in here. What are we looking to do, right? You've already got the first round of placement points. You're about to hit the next round. Do you think they just go full send, try to find eliminations, maybe play it a little bit slower? Oh, my God! Please. Oh, God.
I was going to say that's what they're doing right now, but that's definitely going to put them on the back foot. The flint knock is actually going to knock him back into the zone. He used all the chug splashes, so that's not going to be useful to get back in, but Haxcore still up. They did take out Benji, which was the player that RPG'd them, kind of caused them a little bit of chaos and panic, but still alive, still rocking down on this low ground. This is where they've been staying the entire time, and so impactful down here, Zeke.
Look at the lobby now. 6 players remain, all of which are solo riders. No one's got a buddy. Themo here, he's going to find one over on Josa there and find an immediate elimination. Top 5, another round of placements for everyone in the lobby.
Yeah, but only on wood. These players that are finding down below are not covering their top. He's going to find one. Can he find another? Not just yet. He does have that flint knock if he does need to get back up, but again, no materials it looks like, or they're playing very sparse with them. Now using that flint knock to get down onto the height that he needs to so he doesn't take any fall damage, no risk, but another player trying to get up over the hill, and unfortunately Haxcore is left below, but the storm is playing with his favor right now. He's going to be able to get up.
Look at this. Themo's got high ground advantage right now. Haxcore low on HP. And Fick here, he's got, oh, just kidding. I was going to say HP advantage, but it doesn't matter. Haxcore evens the odds. And now Themo has that high ground control. Haxcore's got to do something, but a huge shot comes back over. And this is Themo's game to win 4 eliminations between the duo. Victory Royale, a 13-point game.
Yeah, and they tied, actually, in terms of points with Haxcore and Ref Guard. So a valiant effort there from low ground. We saw them completely, stuck down there, no opportunities to get out, but making do with what they get. So they push themselves up to over 60 points now, and that is definitely something that you want to be at moving into these last games. The queues are definitely about to close.
There we go. We got another game, of course, more Fortnite action to be had near Happy Hamlet right now. Storm Circle 5. Don't forget, if you're new to Fortnite, the way we've been running the qualifiers, we hop into the Storm Circle 4, 5, sometimes even 6, getting right in the action, skipping past the looting, the drops, all of it, jumping right into all of the action to be had. I think we should probably refresh people on the format just in case they're tuning in for the first time. So guys, don't forget, every single elimination is a point. Top 15, 10, 5 in the victory hour, all the placement thresholds. Look at this. Cubs is just finding elims.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need to do. When you're on the edge of the zones, you have options to get in. He has those shadow bombs if he wants to use them, but you obviously don't want to use all your mobility early. You only have 2 of those, so he forces out the launch pad from the team nearby. If that did not work, he still has the option to go ahead and use those shadow bombs, so doesn't have to worry about that rotation. And honestly, getting a bit of luck based on the players who are coming in, but sometimes you just force it out.
That's right, man. This lobby is still so packed right now. Got so many players. Just a few 1-by-1s over. Gafal, though, is going to be dropped immediately. And now we head over to Requiem George and his teammate, 2Gen Ever. They're trying to isolate this player. So this is the one we saw go down. And now they're just hunting, trying to make sure they can find this elimination as quickly as possible. I like the way they're navigating this, right? They're breaking 2 separate builds instead of just trying to bash through a single wall. Just making it more difficult. If you're on the inside, you're like, how, you know, they're coming in from 2 different angles. How do we defend against this? They did get the revive off, Paula, but they still have a lot of pressure.
On the same token, when you do go from 2 different angles, you also have to be careful because that's 2 more angles that they can use.
Right.
And that situation being box to box, face to face, 1 wall in between each other, and the stairs there kind of rotated the awkward way. Very difficult to kind of escape from that if they do manage to get that wall, if they do manage to get an angle on you. So deciding to back off, probably the healthy decision, especially as Zone 6 starts to move.
We saw George here drop a few, potentially 1 shadow bomb for his duo partner Ever. And here we go, they're immediately popped. The rotations are going to come out, but again, this is a very dense lobby. 33 players currently remain, 19 of them being duo partners. They need to find more. You know, you got to think, obviously you want to try and make placement. That's huge, but every extra elimination is going to make the difference on impacting that leaderboard. And I'm sure this is things they're thinking about, right? I'm just thinking aloud right now. Oh, perfect. Castery gets traded out there, trying to make a late rotation. Not today, friend, not today.
Well, we saw earlier, I mean, they're only at 35 points in this game, but we saw Camo and Issa with that crazy performance to try to push them up in the leaderboards. They weren't in the top 10 last we looked, but, you know, those performances are the one that really push you, not just 1, 2 spaces, but really 5, 10, 20 even in some cases.
That's right, and look up top, FaZe, Vorwin, and Atlantis Tux. They've got themselves the high ground advantage, which is huge. It's going to make a difference. Look at this. Someone trying to challenge, and immediately they say, we need to bail out. This is not the strategy. And Razny gets shredded. Like shooting fish in a barrel, comes right out of the sky, and the elimination is confirmed.
And this is even with the changes to the combat shotgun, the effectiveness at range getting dropped a little bit, but Warwin not doing anything, not worried about it at all. But here, Tux is going to be fighting for height. I think Warwin, his teammate, needs to start pressuring and stop this. But oh my goodness, what a shot up above the builds. Tux is going to find that elimination just there. Sloopy not going to find a height. Still going to be on Tux and Vorwin. Advantage to them.
Crack a ball right out in front. He drops the player and gets some blue damage numbers. Remember, that's on shield. If it's white damage numbers, they've got no shield. Tuck's gonna okay. Poseidon. Juve just gets ripped as well. People are just being picked off left and right. More shots.
I mean, at a certain point, Zeke, it's, do I even want to glide up there? But hold on, because somebody does go into zone and make a play for height, and that's going to be the signal for Tux and Vorwin to drop down. But as he says that, he's got a partner in crime going down. Nepsi cannot go parallel to Tux. Vorwin still has it, though.
This is huge, too, because he didn't have many builds, and that Elim gave him a ton, so now he can actually go try and meet back up with Vorwin, see how things are going. And, I mean, Tux and Vorwin, they're playing out of their minds right now, but look at everyone down below still. You got a few people in ballers. Gafal was on lethal HP. So many people in that mid-ground tarp that are now engaging Fremont and his dual partner. 9 eliminations between them. They just hit top 10. 2 rounds of placement points. What in the world? A 14-point game, 15-point game.
Yeah, and we just talked about Camo Inissa's performance, and Fremont and Kong right now making their way towards one of those. That will push them up the leaderboards. They're at 66 right now, and maybe making a case for them to go to New York. Fremont and Kong, a little bit of a break right here. They're going to drop those turrets out, make sure that that's not going to be in the trap rotation. He's going to get it. The trap doesn't go. Oh, yes, he did go in, but not going to manage to do it. Finds Rasco regardless. And now his teammate as well. He actually finds Kubex too as they drop down all together, but it's now only Freemark. And look at this gaggle of players down below. I don't know if they're going to be able to all survive. Right now, Freemark does go down, and it's now Tux and Vorwin against Edwin on his own. Tux goes down and already finds the shots. And that's going to be the victory royale for Tux and Vorwin.
They played that so well, right? Like, they just waited. They knew, and especially 8 eliminations. An 18-point game, this is massive. This also, we saw the other duo was at 62 points. They're now at 66. So you got to think they're contesting for at least top 5. But for them to realize, like, look, everyone's down below. They're all fighting on that low ground tarp. Let's just hang out in the sky. Let's just do what we do best. Wait this out. And, of course, everyone, like fish in a barrel, comes to them. But look at this. Stompy and Shinken here. The little thin pancake. Who belongs in my heart forever. I mean, these guys, I don't know what else I could say about these guys. Like, the fact that they've been on top of the leaderboards weeks in a row, you've got to think this is a favorite going into Fortnite World Cup Finals. You have to.
I think, I'm looking at everybody using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup and all the predictions going in for New York, all the different personalities starting to make their opinions known. Everybody is putting Stompy and Shinken way up there, if not first and second, because they are dominating week after week, and I think we are in for a treat in this game because they're getting close and they're in the end game, and this is honestly, I think this might be the first time we've seen them. And you know what they do in end game, Zeke. It is crazy clinical Fortnite.
They absolutely terrorize the lobby. They just, everything they do is about how can they get an edge up, and then they make sure they're almost like squeezing the life out of you very slowly, right? Suffocating is like the word my mind went to, but it's kind of just like they're bringing the wall.
It is that.
It is that, right?
Because like when they do find an opportunity, they pounce so hard and so fast, and you have no time to react, and they just come from multiple angles, just like this. Stompy from above, Shinken on the bottom, and he already takes down 1 carries exactly. You see Shinken switching to him right now. He actually can get right behind him, and he finds it, but does now need to make sure that nobody is going to take advantage of the fact that Stompy is down. You can see immediately editing him down all the way because he needs to change positions. Everybody knows they just got an elimination in that box. And I think Freddy and Snagged right here are going to see if they can take advantage here. They're definitely getting the loot, so maybe that's enough for them.
I think they're going to get the revive off. And don't forget, Shinken actually has a Chug Jug in inventory. So he's going to be completely okay. He passes it over to Stompy. This is good. Now they have to have the 15 seconds. This is where things could get a little crazy, right? Because we saw the duo up above. If they decide to challenge, Stompy is not in fighting condition right now.
A note there that Stompy went so far away from where that initial fighting was and goes all the way to the farthest spot, not only for the zone, but also for anybody trying to find out where you are. And here comes... Ooh, a nice little short launch there by accident even, but I'll take it if I'm Stompy.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate your point, these guys are playing at the highest level possible, right? They know what a Chug Jug sounds like. Those sound cues are so very distinct. If you're sitting in a box and you hear that sound down below, you're like, we're going down, let's make some edits, someone's on critical, we're gonna take him out, and that's why he moved so far away, to make sure no one knew what was going on. So huge. 23 duos left, 39 players. Right now they're making a rotation. You've got people out in front, which is good, and they're still staying close by, which is really gonna maximize their efficiency here. A lot of people going down in the lobby as well.
I think staying close by is something we're actually not really used to seeing from Stompy and Shinken. We see them trying to take over the lobby and get as many opportunities as possible, but what is that from Stompy? I mean, but one of the things that is very important here to note is their mobility is starting to look scarce. All that we see on Stompy right now is that glider redeploy. They already used their shadow bombs, the launch pads, because of the position they were put in. They couldn't rotate early. So here, staying together, making... Oh my goodness, he found
got a rift.
As I say that, the rift to go, the almost most valuable item at this point in the game, because not only are people rotating in the congested zones, but they're not looking up, because that first portion of the movement, everybody is looking to see, where do I need to go next?
And they've got a great bird's eye view, right? They're slowly descending on. You've got Alpha there going to drop down, but look, so now they're going to make the decision. We have to contest.
Oh, they knocked out.
Someone just brought the entire structure down. It depends on what they decide to do. Look at Stompy. He's already trying to contest for the high ground, and Shinken had to stop for just a moment to get that mini off. He's got the shadow bomb, but I don't think he wants to use this right now. He gets cracked from behind. The slurp is still ticking right now. He's just got to get himself into safety. He doesn't have any other utility baller, like a campfire, that would help him right now.
Yeah, but possibly Stompy does, and he's right on top of him now. So great staying together. They're glued to each other, almost in another elimination. First finding it before moving out. He gets stuck in the cone, but he's got to cover himself first. Does end up going down to zone. So perfect play here from Shinken, and he's moving forward. And they did get in the top 15 just now as well with those 2 eliminations.
And just the way that Shinken is like fluidly chaining eliminations back to back. And remember, if you don't finish that player off, there's a little bit of time before that siphon comes through. There's a player in the box. Oh! It doesn't even matter. Nevi gets shut down. Right now, they're about to hit top 10. Bala, they're playing out of their freaking minds.
Nevi, one of those players who was towards the top. Him and his teammate from Evade. Here from Stompy and Shinken, 2 people who have already qualified, who are not playing for qualification spots, but playing for keeps. Right now, they're showing off why they should be at the top of the leaderboard, and we just talked about it. We were like, where's Stompy and Shinken? Because there's nobody who's qualified at the top of the leaderboard like we're used to seeing, but maybe after this game, things are going to change, but the Heavy Snipey coming in. Heavy Snipey?
Snipey, yeah, absolutely. Snipey coming through. Now, don't forget, they're also at 66 points. We've seen 3 duos now with that point value. And look at this. Stompy's got to chain together these eliminations. Shinken is down, but it's okay. Stompy's been in positions like this before. He knows how to clutch these games up. The campfire is rolling, Bala. He's getting back in that rhythm.
Getting back in that rhythm and achieving top 5 right there, that last placement threshold before the victory royale. So all he has to do.
Here we go, the key to all doors! Oh my! Okay, I'm gonna lose my freaking voice after today. I'm telling you right now, Stompy and Shinken are putting on a show. The European queues are done as well. It's a free-for-all right now. Also, Pewds goes down a rocket from up above, Bala.
Just barely dodging that. And now he's up to 10, 15 total for this duel. It's a 1v1v1. He's hunting the player down on low ground, but he can't get in the zone. I think that's going to be the end because Katsus is looking right at him. Now, has the Chug Splash. The RPG just barely is going to hit the wall in front of him. Using the Chug Splash and the campfire, I don't think it's going to be enough because the player up above probably has more in the tank, but he's going to come down. Is it going to happen? No. Massey is going to win that game against Cactus. Over the heel off there, and that is just an unbelievable sequence of events. We followed Stompy and Shinken from the beginning, and look where they ended up.
And the fish out of water here. I mean, the duel of these, you know, we kind of, it's funny that you said we may not see them in top 10, but look at the point threshold.
I know.
They said, look, Bala, we're savage. We're Benji Fishy, bro. Don't put us out. By the way, four rounds in the AR. Only 4.
And Zeke finds actually 2 players who didn't edit their box close. He's going to take out Black. And his teammate as well, Stoico, going down, and that's probably the end of their run in the World Cup.
Benji literally just said, Zeke, I don't care about these 4 AR rounds. Watch me pick up the double, and now I'm sitting on 300. Check me again, bro. I'm a fish out of water. I can breathe in fresh air. That was, in case you didn't see that was a thing at the summer block party, which made me laugh, by the way. Go back and watch those little interstitials. They're fantastic. That's what I was referencing. But 86 points over on Wolfsies and Rojo.
Yeah, and he's actually in trouble here as the Shadow Bomb. This player actually doesn't realize, though, he's going to take a nice shot onto Mawaka, sorry. As Wolfie's making his way forward, Rojo is split, but we've seen this situation before. Again, reaching towards that 90 points right now. One more elimination is going to do it, but Rojo goes down, and it's all up to Wolfie's right now.
All right, here we go. So Rojo gets picked up. But now, look, they've just hit that 90-point threshold. So let's think about this, right? If Wolfies could clutch it up by himself, he'd have to at least get the Victory Royale, which is another 7 points, and at least 3 eliminations. There's still 10 players. It's doable.
To get 100, is that what
to break the triple digits. Yeah, I want to see the 100. I want to see it because you know they want to see it too.
I mean, based on what scores I'm seeing already spread out throughout the map and the games that we've seen, I think he's already probably clinched it. But you know, he's thinking, I have to perform the best I have ever done here. I have to win this game if I want to make it, because I don't have high ground. I don't have a teammate. I've got to do everything. I've got to take all this responsibility on my shoulder, all the pressure from all 10 weeks, and do it right now, Zeke.
That's right. And you got to think they're probably saying, like, just imagine this was you on the stage of the World Cup Finals, right? Imagine you're in that moment. Take everything, all the practice, the long hours you put and dedicated to this game and focus it and hone it in right now. Wolfies, he's got 3 eliminations. Again, 94 points. If he could find 3 more eliminations, it's not enough. Confetti trades him out and shuts him down in that moment. And now it's coming down to this. It's a 2v1.
Confetti and Toos. It's kind of crazy because we started World Cup in week 1 in semifinals. Toos playing in solo is actually destroying the semifinals, and now here again, ending EU. Is he going to be able to pick up this win? It could propel them up to 71 points, but it's going to happen. Ollie goes down, almost makes a hero RPG play onto Confetti. My heart dropped for a second there, but that really could be, you know, a story from the start to the finish, Zeke.
Yeah. This is, I think, the only fitting thing now to do. I'm stressing out of my mind, but for now, let's send it into Pookie. She's in the studio. She's going to break down what's going on.
Thank you so much, Zeke. You know what? Go get yourself a sandwich. Go get a drink of water. Calm down. I was over there. You were stressing out for sure. I am joined here with Sundown. Those games are absolutely incredible. You always putting on a show. Never disappointing. Speaking of that, don't want to bring up who's going to be disappointed or excited, but we got to look at the standings.
The final standings, the last 4 coming out of Europe. It's been so absurdly competitive, and let's take a look. Punch some tickets going through. Wolfies and Rojo taking the top spot. Stompy Tashinkin, Benji Fishy, and Mr. Savage don't know how to share. They're still hanging out. Had already qualified, so that means it shifts down. And we got Skype in Vato, Vorin in Tux, and then Klusha in Singularities. Thomas HD taking up the spots, 1 point separating the difference, going through there. Saw it going down. I mean, this is nuts. So many players who we've seen. Klusha getting the double qualification going through. Shinken and Stompy not knowing how to stay off of the top. Huge runs from Skype and Vato, as well as Vorin and Tux. And then Wolfies and Rojo just dominating at the start of the day, kind of falling off, and everyone was saying, oh, can they stay up there? A huge last-minute surge, $20,000, a trip to New York City, Pooks. That's massive.
Congratulations to everyone who has qualified for World Cup Finals in New York in July. I cannot wait to meet all of you, but we have some business to get down to, Sundown.
Time to punch some tickets, right?
Yeah, we got to punch those tickets.
All right, let's get the top one right there. Congratulations, Wolfies and Rojo.
We got Skite and Vado coming out of the stream. Am I doing this one?
Yeah, you can get that one as well. Warren and Tux. Such a great job from Tux there. We saw a number of in the end, and then rounding it out, Klusha, by the way, in Singularity, Thomas HD. Congratulations, all of you played so incredibly well. It was a great day to round it out. But again, hey, first of all, to even get to Sunday in Europe, it took 67 points in a victory royale. Like, if you were playing on Sunday, you're among the best of the best there, and just because your name isn't up here doesn't mean you're done. There's always going to be more to play for. There's always more there. And speaking of always more competitive Fortnite stuff, we recently actually just launched our own dedicated Twitter to all things competitive Fortnite. You know, let's just throw it on up there. Go ahead, give it a follow as well. It's twitter.com/FN competitive, and I mean, there's always a way to get involved. We're going to be highlighting plays, we'll be doing breakdowns, we'll be asking you who your favorite players are up there, so keep an eye on that. And then let's also see what is up on the social wall and what players had to say up there. Boom, right on up there, and then everyone saying welcome to Twitter on there. Let's go, people being excited about it, and look at that. I love the Sharks just slamming the like and the retweet button.
Nice, I love that. Cutest graphic I've seen on this wall thus far. Can we just talk about Evade Orange's tweet for a second? The only Twitter I need. Could not have said it better myself.
Well, he needs his own there to interact with it as well.
That's
but
true.
I mean, just
you know, potato. It is what it is. But yeah, guys, if you're not following this Twitter already, please go and give it a follow. I'm following it. I know Sundown is. Tweet to us on there. We'll be replying to stuff all day today. But you know what? I feel as though, you know, we've seen a lot of games coming out of Europe today. You know, we've seen a lot of people, you know, punch their tickets. Congratulations to everybody so far. I cannot personally wait to get into the next set of games. So before we do that, we are going to go to a quick break. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have more Fortnite action.
Let's fly out to the lobby. Let's fly out to the lobby. Let's fly out to the lobby to get your spots and numbs. Burgers from dirt to munch. Tacos royale with brunch. Red juices, a tasty treat for Lil Whip, Peely, and Pizza Pete. Let's fly out to the lobby to get your spots and numbs. Let's fly out to the lobby to get your spots and numbs.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Sundown here, and today we are going to talk about the Tactical Assault Rifle and its addition to competitive play.
The Tactical Assault Rifle is probably one of the best additions to the game. It's a long-range weapon where you could save AR ammo if you have a drum gun.
Small bullet you can find everywhere, so it's a good weapon.
The Tactical AR is an uncommon, epic, and legendary weapon that utilizes light ammunition and has a high rate of fire. It does 22, 23, or 24 damage depending on rarity, has a pretty fast first shot accuracy timer, and a dope reloading animation. I mean, come on, just look at it. We've seen a lot of competitive players opt into using the Tactical Assault Rifle over the course of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the players who qualified for the finals and get their thoughts on the TAC AR's addition to the game.
It's really good. Like really good. Once you get to endgame scenarios like 5th zone and beyond, it absolutely beams. It's very viable in meta right now. Everybody's been using it.
I like it because you could actually sneak up on someone. It has this low sound, so it's hard to hear.
It has its viability due to its first shot accuracy that can make it really strong, and the fall off damage isn't as strong as it was for the silent SMG, which got vaulted.
I reckon the gun's awesome for endgame, because if you've got height, that gun can really get a lot of eliminations because it's like a laser, and people endgame tend to have less HP than they would towards the early and mid game, so I think it's really strong in situations.
Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the Tactical Assault Rifle, and when do you like to use it? Send us your opinions using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and I'll see you on the battle bus, or maybe on the high ground with a TAC AR.
right, Fortnite fam. Did I beat you in rock, paper, scissors? Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. I probably did because I'm really good at it. It's the only thing I'm good at ever. But, guys, we are knee-deep in the World Cup finals. Qualifier here for duos. It is been unbelievable. The European action has not disappointed, but of course we're getting ready to hop into more games. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Oceania replays, because don't forget Oceania and Asia happened overnight, so we're going to also look at Asia replays as well. I guess I should have said both. And then we're going to take a live look into Brazil, see how things are going for them. I need 2 casters on deck. Let's get Pookie Face, let's get Sundown, let's get into these games.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I'm joined here by the amazing Pookie Face, who has a great talent at ignoring high fives.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, she literally looked right at the camera and then right at me. But as Zeke just said, Oceania and Asia wrapped up last night. I stayed up and watched some of the games. I know most people didn't, but they were incredible. The last spots were there, and let's hop in, give these guys a little coverage, and celebrate just how awesome at Fortnite they are. Now, a fun fact about both these guys, 7 matches played total. That was all they ended up running through. So they were able to get the maximum amount of points through each one of them, not needing all 10. And as we talked about with the Breakaway Esports duo of Serpent and Hype, averaging a placement of 2.67 across those 7 games. That is ridiculous.
That is extremely high. Do you know what other teams are sitting at in terms of averages like that?
I mean, you really don't typically will see placements like that in a 10-game run. Like in overall, like we've seen people being those consistent in like over the course of 10 games.
Right.
But like in that spree, I think the closest we've seen is the Twins out of Oshi, when they were playing more placement based and less aggro. I think they had one of the weeks up there where they were nearing 4, but sub 3 that's really, really, really good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty incredible, like you said. And we see Hype just get the elimination on Pendragon, LOL there, just utilizing his edits there to quickly peek out, make sure that he's not leaving himself too exposed. Take a look at his partner, Serpent, who has got his own agenda of what he's doing over here. Looks like he's doing the same thing, but on the opposite side. So these guys just applying pressure all over the map.
Yeah, and one thing to note, it is a much sparser circle when you're in those very late games in terms of Oceania. Some players opting to play aggro, trying to get their games out there, will just go full send and try and burn through a couple towards the end to get into another one. But if you have good game management or the ability to just play consistently and ride it out, you can play this game all the way to conclusion and maybe snag what might be a slightly easier victory route for you if you're playing passive and defensive, which Serpent and Hype seem to have been doing so here with, I want to say, only 6 elims, but in comparison to the rest of the lobby, it's not a ton. It's good.
No, for sure. And to your point, kind of what you said about knowing, where your opponents are. Let's keep in mind that there's only 12 players left on this map right now, and only 7 duos remain. Make that 11 and 6. I spoke way too soon. Serpent secures another elimination there on Bray. But in terms of final circles, Sundown, this is not something that we see very often in these late games.
No, and it makes for interesting play because people can be more calculated, but normally you don't get as much room to operate. So now all of a sudden, Zank being in this 1-by-1 by himself, if certain Hype want to go pinch him, they absolutely will. They know this is a 2v1. They know there's no one else here, but Zank is now trying to get whatever opportunity he can to free up shots, knowing that the next elim that goes down is the top 5, and every single point matters, even if not for qualification, then for the prize money, with the prize pool being doubled in weeks 9 and 10.
Yeah, and Zank making that quick decision to just use the launch pad, kind of get out of there. He saw that there were players rushing at him, decided to go up, get the high ground, which does end up working out for him because he lays down a 35 and a 71 shot on opponents down below. Breaks a baller, which is going to be bad news for that player. He isn't going to have that additional protection anymore. But he is just trying to fire shots, methodically go through and see if he can actually get any kind of knocks or eliminations here to get that siphon, because he doesn't actually have any kind of healing, and he does take out Jimmy, so that is certainly going to help him for any kind of future eliminations or any kind of engagements here.
Yeah, and it got him into the top 5, and Goobaz actually ended up going down as well, so just getting the tags on the end of the storm as rotation does go up the mountain, the verticality being the difference there. Elimination does go over. That was the knock we had just talked about. While Replace goes through, he edits down, has nothing to catch himself, but luckily was on the edge of it. But Hype is relentless on the high ground, and now they're going to start working the top down. When we started on board with them, they had 4 elims, now worked it all the way up to 8. There is 9 and 10, and they're looking to close this match out, and this is where every point matters. Getting the wall replaced, and Slaya goes down. Well done from Hype and Serpent. 11 elims in the victory royale.
Well done from them indeed. Now, unfortunate to see Slayo go down. I know that he is a favorite from a lot of people, but you know what? Second place, not too bad, Sundown.
No, it was a good effort, but like you said, once kind of those two get rolling, when they have the momentum, they are able to just run with it. We've seen it before in the semifinals, and when they finally converted it over, sometimes that's all it takes. If you're able to put the pieces together on the right day in the finals, that's what ends up mattering. Now we're on board here with Surf Junkie and Evanix.
And take a look at their loadout they have right now. 2 Rift to Goes, 2 Shadow Bombs. I'd be interested to see if they've split the Shadow Bombs. Duos will typically do that. You know, give 2 and 2 so each partner has some kind of mobility in their inventory. They do only take up 1 slot, and you can carry a whole bunch of them. So we've seen time and time again players utilizing those to make rotations, make sure they're safe heading into the next zone, and they are going to actually opt to Rift out there so that they can make that early rotation. They did have quite a long way to go, but they are going to look to see if they can possibly sneak on some high ground here.
Yeah, the thing is there, well, it seems like it is a little bit of an early rift. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, majority of the players were in their path in order to get to the rotation. So when you have 2 rifts and 2 extra shadow bombs as well as a ton of the shields, you can afford to be a little more aggro there, and they're actually able to now get priority on the zone and pick up an elim as well. But can they get the mats and then disengage out with whatever upgrades they so desire?
Again, Surf Junkie taking a lot of damage there, so he is going to have to really focus on getting healed up before they, you know, make the next rotation or before they take another engagement, because you certainly do not want your duos partner going down or falling to anyone at this stage of the game. That certainly can spell disaster. But we are going to take a look here at Serpent and Hype. We saw a little bit of their gameplay in the last game. They look as though they're playing very, very well together today. And you know, let's just see what they can pull out right now.
Yeah, so these were actually, so the last game we watched was their second to last game, and this was their final game of the evening. So that's kind of why it ended up being such a thinner lobby. It was a lot of the players trying to get through and use the last of the games, but Serpent and Hype saying, that's fine, we'll play it for a victory royale. And right now, inside the first placement threshold, already on 7 elims for this match. So that's 10 points so far coming out from this game. That's what we talk about when we say maximizing efficiency in every single one of your lobbies. If you're making it into the final placement threshold, getting a couple of those victory royales and getting elims as well, no, it makes it very difficult for everyone else in the lobby to even keep pace with you.
Yeah, and you know, that we've seen time and time again has worked out for so many players, you know, really just being very aggressive, just going full send. It doesn't matter what game you're in, that can always bode well. He does get the knockdown on oh my gosh, Surf Junkie and Evnix just fall to him completely, no chance, and we've seen them play very strong in the past, so that is very surprising. But Serpent does pick up the Rift to go and 2 extra Shadow Bombs, so now the tables have turned, Sundown. He has got all of the mobility he needs.
They just have so much control over this lobby now. With the high ground, they can see nobody else is even remotely close to it. There's the far side of the lobby. You will see Lunar and Alpha trying to put some shots on it. Prince Charming comes sailing in, but there was a Shadow Bomb directly in the box behind it. I don't know if Alpha realized that. Gets high ground taken away from him second. Boxed in, no traps coming out. Does finally put one down, and Kaiser can't avoid the damage there. 15 health on it. Needs to throw the Chug Splash at his feet or get the edit out. One of the two has to happen very shortly. 15 HP, was able to get back up to the high ground. Is going to opt to just pop the minis and then go for the Chug Splashes.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it wouldn't have really mattered too much what he chose to do, because you are only getting 20 HP effectively from those Chug Splashes for each one that you throw down. He did wait for his partner to join him, though, because there is that area of effect with the Chug Splashes. You get 20 health, your teammate gets 20 health, so not everybody gets 20 health.
Well, that's tend to be why you see it more run in duos, but also just love having shields all over the place. But now Serpent and Hype going aggro, and we've seen it putting the dual combat shotguns to work, focusing on that with the loadout and making sure they're shooting together. But right now, Serpent has been chipped out a little bit. However, they're into the top 10 in terms of the team. So 5 placement points been picked up so far, and look at that. Prince Charming gets taken down. No fairy tale ending for you there. It's just back to the lobby. And considering this is the last match, that's the end of your World Cup run. As Serpent and Hype able to clean that up. There's another one going over up to 12 and all the resources from it. And they saw that Shadow Form player. Look at him just running.
What is happening? Sundown. He was just, you know what? I think at that point he was just trying to do whatever he could to stay alive. Unfortunately, Hype and Serpent met him there. But Serpent does actually go down and he is going to fall to the storm. It is going to be completely up to Hype now to carry the rest of this game. Each of them having 7 eliminations, sitting at 125 points. Do you think he's going to be able to pull out the victory royale? We're going to have to find out.
Now, they are on this 14. Elam's has the proximity launcher. That's 70 on both of them right there. Will get the AoE, gets the 70 again, so he knows that player is on 40. Drops down, he finds Ices, catches himself with the waterfall as he drops. Will pick that up. Siphon comes over too. Will he be able to get enough mats? He's sitting on 3, 2, now out of materials. It's a 2v2, v1, v1. Edit comes out. Needs to pick up this Elam. Storm isn't his favorite player. Covers himself with metal. Edit goes forward. Uncle Andy, say goodnight. Nothing left for you there. Hype finds the shot right there. Gets a good 80+ tick. Can he find another one as he's trying to do all of the work by himself right now? Serpent's been taken down. He's sitting on 9. Elam's getting some help from the high ground. 73 with the first shot. Getting walled out. Needs to find a way back in the zone, and he does. Lupius goes down 1, 2. Can he find the third? Needs to get the conversion over, and he does. Lupius goes down. It's a 2v1. Can he find it?
Oh, no.
Alpha Barbucks cleans it up, but second place and 15+ Elams coming out from there. Good effort from Lunar and Barbucks, but Hype and Serpent showing why they got that top spot. It was really well played.
Unbelievable, the decision making and mechanically how gifted you have to be able to drop down, waterfall down, pull out your shotgun, and catch yourself so quick. Cat-like reflexes. Too bad Kitty Plays isn't here to comment on those.
And making sure that it was the player he had ticked twice with that proximity grenade. While it only being 70 damage, it's basically guaranteed if the player isn't boxed themselves up. But now we're going to hop on over to the Asia region while we see what was up with the Trigger QQ boys of the Vietnamese region, or the Vietnam country, playing on the Asia region. Apologies there as we're on board here with Ricky and Joysa. Some good shots coming out from that tactical assault rifle so far. 12 duos remaining, 23 players left as we're in the half in, half out.
Yeah, and we are seeing a little bit of a trend here so far with these games, Sundown. You know, not very many players left alive, but I think it's a great change of pace, and you can really see how the players adapt their play style to kind of, you know, counteract the fact that there aren't going to be very many people in the lobby. Ricky just taking down Seal completely as he was trying to rotate and use the launch pad to get out of there. So good on him with that elimination. That will be his first one of the game. His partner, Jazia, is sitting on 2. They are going to use the stinks to actually try to pressure this player above them, see if they can get him to come down, but he just gets out of there and says, you know what? That one stunk. I'm not interested.
Yeah, Cushy having no reason to do that. And you also noticed that Joysa threw the stink directly on top of Ricky while he was pressuring. No friendly fire going on there. As you can see, Hooten and Peach on the low ground. But there's the qualifiers, Flame and Unique over on the side. And one thing I went through and ended up reviewing a lot of early, but pretty much every single early game, they got completely uncontested Dusty Divot and walked out with just max everything. Like, it was nuts and just getting a ton of rotation, but right here you can see right now, sitting on 2 Elims, have a decent amount of loot, good amount of mats, and prime area on the zone. So convert that into one onto Theo, getting a good knock with the help of the Storm, up to 66 points as we're inside that placement threshold number 2, top 10 ticking over.
And I feel like Dusty Divot is actually one of those points of interest where you can drop and get a ton of resources, all the trees being there. You know, some would argue that, you know, you're at a bit of a disadvantage because you are essentially, you know, not to pun, but you are in a divot. Trees for cover, that whole area completely uncontested, and for yourselves, you are going to come out of there sitting pretty. So we are taking a look here. They are rotating over. We'll see how he builds up here, if he tries to take high ground or...
Yeah, he was looking to find it over on the side, but instead just opted to box himself up, realizes he has the RPG and wants to start sending everyone cascading down, but opts not to fire it. So interesting decision there. I actually thought he would have sent it down. Instead, turns towards the player underneath him, and him and Ricky are going to try and isolate that player in order to convert it into an elim. Now he's going to look skyward. I figure he would want to reset that before they got too established. Nope. Instead, he's going to say, my high ground now, perfectly timed launch pad to get it right at that maximum deploy height. And now, all of a sudden, Joyza and Ricky on the high ground with a whole bunch of resources.
And 12 rockets in their RPG. We've seen this time and time again. Explosives are extremely strong, but they are even stronger when they are raining down on players from ultimate high ground. These players do not have to worry at all about anything that is happening above or below them. They need to be looking up at Jazia and his teammate because
looking good.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Sundown here, and today we're going to talk about the Tactical Assault Rifle and its addition to competitive play.
The Tactical Assault Rifle is probably one of the best additions to the game. It's a long-range weapon where you could save AR ammo if you have a drum gun.
Small bullet you can find everywhere, so it's a good weapon.
The Tactical AR is an uncommon, epic, and legendary weapon that utilizes light ammunition and has a high rate of fire. It does 22, 23, or 24 damage depending on rarity, has a pretty fast first shot accuracy timer, and a dope reloading animation. I mean, come on, just look at it. We've seen a lot of competitive players opt into using the Tactical Assault Rifle over the course of the Fortnite World Cup online open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the players who qualified for the finals and get their thoughts on the TAC AR's addition to the game.
It's really good. Like really good. Once you get to endgame scenarios like 5th zone and beyond, it absolutely beams. It's very viable in meta right now. Everybody's been using it.
I like it because you could actually sneak up on someone. It has this low sound, so it's hard to hear.
It has its viability due to its first shot accuracy that can make it really strong, and the fall off damage isn't as strong as it was for the silent SMG, which got vaulted.
I reckon the gun's awesome for endgame because if you've got height, that gun can really get a lot of eliminations because it's like a laser, and people endgame tend to have less HP than they would towards the early and mid game. So I think it's really strong in situations.
Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the Tactical Assault Rifle, and when do you like to use it? Send us your opinions using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and I'll see you on the battle bus, or maybe on the high ground with a TAC AR.
What's up, Fortnite fam?
Today, we're going to be playing for $3 million for charity, folks, and it is going to be an incredible time.
50 of your favorite Fortnite personalities will be paired up with 50 celebrities put on this fantastic stage.
It's going to be awesome. It's duos, so we've seen it before at the Pro-Am last year, and it's always a blast. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
The first match of the Summer Block Party Pro-Am is beginning right now. They're putting down pressure. No one's safe now. That's one Elim right there. Can he get a second? That is going to get followed up because he desperately needs materials. A player behind, 102 to the face. Look at this, he's just waiting for a full send. It's Symphony. He shuts him down. It's a 1v1. Who is the other player that's left? Oh! Here it is. He's going to go with the X. Oh! Wow. Dude, that was aggressive. Look at him go here. Just beating down players. No weapons. Doesn't even need them. Wants this. Look at this. Aiden's just supplying pressure. Oh, tries to go to the high ground. This might have been a mistake. This is Aiden. We're talking about more damage. Bucky's down to nothing. And Aiden. Victory Royale.
Ball, it doesn't connect with the shot. Marshawn Lynch hits 75 blue.
One great shot connects up, comes up over top. It's a second right there, and the Rift goes out.
Oh, she's on the run. She's chasing it down.
You're not gonna let this one go away. Oh no, you know you're a solo. No turning back now.
35 wide on that damage there, and Ewok got the target. One build remaining, and that's it. He's gonna land in front of him, and typical gamer.